Hey guys, Javier here with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a platform, and a modality where we apply the principles of interiorism to getting rich, to rapid lifestyle transformation, to doing what you came here to do, guys. That's what this channel is all about. It's not simply about philosophical speculation, although that's fun. It's not simply about talking the talk. It's about actually walking the walk and giving you specific and concrete steps that you can take in your life in order to move forward with rapid lifestyle transformation. And as they say, guys, especially in these markets, especially in these turbulent economic times, it's no walk in the park when you're living on this film roll. Incidentally, I am walking in the park. I am in my beautiful neighborhood park here, and it's just a very meditative environment. There aren't a lot of people here. I love to come out here sometimes and think, and we're probably going to be making more videos out here. It's just a beautiful area, and being in beautiful areas is conducive to clear thinking, is conducive to relaxation. It's where we have to take more time out for ourselves, more time to relax, more time to step back. And while we emphasize that this channel is not simply about philosophical speculation, today we are going to take a little bit of a philosophical detour because it's necessary to get your bearings about you. It's necessary to know where you are, to sort of have a mental map, a mental framework, a mental model to help you know what steps to take next. Of course, the concrete steps, guys, while I can give you some, and I can give you a lot of general guidance in these videos, we're going to give you general guidance to where you can just take these videos and give yourself a roadmap and a blueprint, take the actions that you need to take, and get off the prison grid, become rich. Of course, it's often very nice to have someone who has experience in these matters guide you hand by hand. It could be a next step for you. That's why we do coaching calls, and I will put my email in the description to see if we're a good fit to do business together. I'll draw on my years of experience in business, entrepreneurship, investing, consulting to get you a roadmap, get you a blueprint. But truth be told, you don't need me, you don't need anybody. Again, depending on your personality type, it might be a next step for you, but you can watch these videos, you can get the principles, and you can have your own roadmap. So, in this video, I just wanted to talk about what is my standpoint vis-a-vis economic and financial freedom? What's my general standpoint, my philosophical standpoint, and by extension, the way that I analyze markets, the way that I analyze securities, the way that I view the macro situation? If you know this philosophy and you can internalize the principles of this philosophy, you will have a great tool to guide you through whatever market situation is out there, and you'll have a great tool to guide you to whatever next steps you need to take. See, my friends, I am a spiritual capitalist. That's right. Now, some of you may be thinking that's a contradiction in terms, and we had a lot of comments on some of our last videos about people saying, why are you making videos about making money? And people saying that that's a trap, and basically people who had not watched our previous videos on the prison grid saying that this was the prison grid. And while many of the current keepers of the prison grid, who are most of the time unwitting, are the wealthy, people who got wealthy, they didn't get wealthy that way, guys. But now they're trying to conserve their wealth because they forgot their philosophy. But the fact is, and of course spiritual capitalism is not a term that I coined, full disclosure. The first time I saw it was from some videos. I believe her name is Renee Garcia. She's also a great YouTuber who talks about reality transurfing, and it's a model that I use a lot in my teachings, in my videos, reality transurfing. And I think this started out in that community and in other spiritual communities where we talk about spiritual capitalism. And this is in contradistinction to materialist capitalism. In fact, all capitalists, all people who made great wealth, all people who became financially independent, had to at least practice as spiritual capitalists, even without being able to explain that philosophy, even without being self-conscious in that philosophy. They are spiritual capitalists. To be successful, I put to you, you have to be a spiritual capitalist. And why is that? Because one would think that materialist capitalism would be the way that people gain their wealth. But this isn't the case because, again, as we emphasized in many videos, and we'll keep emphasizing again, the rich do not work for money. You see, a paycheck is a way to keep you in the prison grid. It's basically the feeding tube of the matrix. The paycheck keeps you in the matrix. In order to liberate yourself from a paycheck, because most people receiving paychecks live paycheck to paycheck. Those who don't, of course, they're already capitalists even if they don't know it, because they're investing or they're loaning out their money, but they have enough capital to live for a few years without a paycheck. That capital is not money. It can be defined sometimes in monetary figures, but it's not money. It's usually, it could be a savings account, which is a security, if you want to interpret it that way. It could be in bonds, it could be in stocks, but these are all in assets. You see, my friends, the wealthy do not work for money. The wealthy own assets and then generate cash flow from those assets. And I know almost everybody knows this, but how do we go from theory to practice? Because you see, you have to understand that assets are not physical or material things. They cannot be. Assets are spiritual things. And what you'll realize is that an asset, or a quote-unquote producer of goods, always has a service attached to it. For example, an oil well. I can buy an oil well, and that can be an asset for many years, producing barrels of oil. But the barrels of oil coming out of that oil well, being sold, and then cash coming in, well, that's a system. And a system is not something that can be readily seen with the senses. In fact, a system moves through time. Any one point of the system is only a snapshot in time. The only way you can see an entire system is through tying together cause and effect chains throughout time. I hope you understand what this means, guys. It means that the whole system cannot exist in one snapshot of time. What matter is something that you can take and take a snapshot of it in time. And that's why so many materialists are stuck in their models, because they're stuck in a snapshot of time. They can't see the dynamic picture. And this goes back to the great economist Frédéric Bastiat. He said economic science, or understanding economics, understanding political economy, so to speak, you have to see what is unseen. And the only way you can do that is through your imaginal faculty and through your thought faculty. In other words, through the spiritual. So in order to be a capitalist, you have to be a spiritual capitalist. So it's all in here, guys. It's all in your thoughts, feelings, your imaginations, and your emotions. That means that the only way to truly become wealthy is to go within. It's to go interior. It's interiorism. You see now how we connect interiorism with wealth? Take a concept of money, of cash money. What is money, guys? Because people are working for it, but if they would only change their perspective, if they could only change their lens, they would see that money is actually, what is it? It's ossified energy, guys. Because of course money, we know from economics, is the most marketable commodity that's stored up in anticipation of the fact that others will demand it, and it becomes the medium of exchange. Why is it a medium of exchange? Because people believe that they can hold it for future uncertain times. That's what cash money is. That's what money is. What does that mean? That means money is ossified energy. It's energy, guys, because it is not sold as a commodity. Look in the case of gold. Of course, gold is sold a lot as a commodity, but when being used qua money, or even qua an investment, gold is seen and used for its principles as a store of value and a medium of exchange. Even the central banks, even though we've gone off the gold standard, they hold a lot of gold. Therefore, gold is valued for its energy values, for its spiritual value, not for something physical, even though it's based in something physical. You look at something like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, these are not even based on anything physical, but they are ossified energy. Of course, in Bitcoin, you have the sequence where Bitcoin miners use very heavy computing power and a lot of energy to solve these equations in order to reconcile these transactions. Because you see in Bitcoin, that you should study this more, and there are a lot of videos on this and you can learn this, but you have to take some time to do it. But Bitcoin functions on zero trust, guys. That means that everybody who has a node or a computer in the Bitcoin system or the network has to have access to every single transaction that's ever transpired in Bitcoin, so they can trace it back. So when someone sends you a Bitcoin, you can know how they got it, they can know how they got it. So every transaction has to be arranged in blocks, and these blocks and chains. The people that do that, they're called miners, because when they get it right, according to very hard mathematical equations, they're awarded a certain amount of Bitcoins, which are created out of thin air. But that's the way Bitcoins are created. Therefore, Bitcoin is ossified energy, and it's a great illustration of spiritual capitalism. That's why I believe some form of this is going to be the currency standard. It's not going to be the currency, because that's impractical, but it's going to be what banks hold in reserve, so to speak, to sort of back up the currency, however complex that may be. Therefore, we're going to have physical things resting on pure energy and purely spiritual forces. This is a great illustration of this. Why am I talking about this, guys? It's all about energy. Therefore, you don't have to go out there, even though there's really no separation between out there and in here, to get wealth. That means you don't have to compromise yourself to make money. That means that you can do what you love to do, guys. All you have to do is get into the state of it. That means you're energetically it, and then work with the energy. Allow that energy to guide you. Take whatever actions are inspired to you, and the wealth will come to you, because it is energy. When you are in energy, you are quite literally in the money. And that's a basic breakdown of spiritual capitalism. It's where we're coming from. What else does this mean? Well, it means that the economy is primarily energetic. Realize that this whole thing is based on credit. This whole thing is based on trust. Even though Bitcoin as a currency has no trust, well, the debt-generated currency is based upon trust. It's based upon the trust that the Treasury will be able to pay back the debt. It's based upon the trust that our economy will continue to function. It's based upon the trust that people will keep their promises. Therefore, the entire macro economy is based upon trust and confidence. Therefore, it's very easy, if you know how to tap into that energy, to read where the energy is going. And we now see a breakdown in trust. We see a breakdown in confidence. So we know that certain assets are going to go down in value. Certain overvalued assets are going to go down in value. The economy is going to be negatively impacted. According to many great analysts, it's coming very soon. You and I have to be ready for that, to be able to benefit from that. And remember, because we know the principles of interiorism, because we're spiritual capitalists, we're not going to panic with the rest of the society. We're going to be able to get in there and benefit. That's what I want to teach you how to do in our channel, because these are the best times, guys. These are the best times that have ever been to get financially independent, to get off the prison grid, and for rapid lifestyle transformation, to live where you want, to work where you want, and to finally be able to create the creations that you came on this earth to create. That's what we teach here on this channel. That's why we're spiritual capitalists, and take that as a fundamental foundation, as a bedrock for what's coming up in these videos. I'm really excited about this new series on wealth building and wealth creation. I'm really determined that we're going to help as many people as we can, because that's what this channel is about, guys. It's about helping as many people as we can. That's why I'd ask you, if you find value in these videos, please do hit the subscribe button, like the videos. You'll get alerts to all of our new videos, which in many cases we're doing daily, and you'll be helping me get the word out. So until very soon, guys, with great love and appreciation, I'm going to come meditate some more in this park, relax, and then go back home and have some dinner. And I will see you guys very soon with much love and appreciation. Ciao.